Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. Well, we have a lot of interesting stuff that's coming out so far. Actually, this weekend was mostly dead, so I don't have much to say today over the weekend and much to say today. So I will move everything to that's going on to Wednesday because tomorrow we have Masab Yosef that we're talking about him, and I'm gathering all the information there for the stream tomorrow. So that being said, we're going to be talking about Helldivers in this particular video because there's a lot to cover. I'm a gaming professionalist. I would love to say that I enjoy gaming quite a bit. I game quite a lot. And I got completely pillaged and destroyed on Manor Lords last night, so I have to go live in shame with that. However, there seems to be more of, with the Helldivers situation here that everyone wants to see. And I have the full thing for everybody. So, we did win. Gamers won, so we rise up here. Good job. So, I'm going to go for the full timeline here because it's kind of important to see where you guys are coming from because it all, at the end of the day, this all happened daily, by the way. Everything within 24 hours. So every 24 hours or so, give or take, something new was happening with Sony or whatever. And it ended up being this, their end result. So here we are. So first off, we're going to go with the whole thing that began here with Sony and their stuff. So we'll start with, kind of everything that led up to this situation. We have this here, and this is from the Helldivers, posted May 2nd. It says, Helldivers 2 account linking update. Attention Helldivers, due to technical issues at the launch of Helldivers 2, we allow the linking requirements for Steam accounts to a PlayStation Network account to be temporarily optional. That grace period will now expire. See the details below in this post. Account linking plays a critical role in protecting our players and upholding the values of safety and security provided on PlayStation and PlayStation Studios games. This is our main way to protect players from griefing and abuse by enabling the banning of players that engage in that type of behavior. It also allows those players that have been banned the right to appeal. As such, as of May 6th, all new Helldivers 2 players on Steam will be required to connect their Steam account to a PlayStation Network account. Current players on Steam will start to see the mandatory login from May 30th and will be required to have a Steam and PlayStation Network account by June 4th. PlayStation Network accounts are free and easy to set up using this link. We understand this may be an inconvenience to some of you. This will help us continue to build a community that you are all proud of and be a part of, etc., etc. All right, so that's what's going on. That was what's going on May 2nd, and they got massive outrage, guys. They got obliterated. I would say obliteration is a what we would call a understatement, right? So, where is my Helldivers? Okay, so I obviously uninstalled this game, and now it was not mixed. It was overwhelmingly negative. Now the game is quite good. So now, well, I don't want to say good, but this is what we have here. So if people talk about, oh, well, they didn't do anything that people should have known. Well, here's the thing, and I have actual evidence of this. What you're seeing here, guys, is of all the countries that, that it's not allowed to make a PSN account. And places like, Ukraine, which I don't really care for, but nonetheless, doesn't mean the people have to suffer for it because the people are not the reason why Ukraine is suffering. It is the government that is the reason why the Ukraine is suffering, and I'll leave it at that. However, we understand that these are all the places that doesn't allow to be purchased with Steam, right, or to be purchased with the PSN. So all these places, and I have more here as well. If I'm forgotten here, so sadly, if they will not change this, not all allowed countries are actually allowed if they don't own a PS4 and PS5. Ukraine, one of examples. This is what I got from a local support. Basically, you are too poor to play. And it says here, it says reloading, trying to reload this image. I don't know what's going on here. Okay, that's weird. It says, good day, thank you for contacting the PlayStation Network User Information Center. In response to your request, we would like to inform you the registration of an account of the region of Ukraine is possible only through the console itself. The number of your appeal is shown in the subject to the letter. Please call operator communication when answering by email. Please save the correspondence. Best regards. So yeah, they weren't allowing like people from Ukraine to be able to even make a PSN regardless of the fact that they're required for Helldivers 2. So that was what's going on here, and we have more going on as well because we have to go through this now for people that need to understand some things here or what have you. We need people to see what is going on, right, with the whole PSN and stuff like that. So what they did, guys, and the reason why this was so egregious is because, first of all, they did this type of stuff with they did this by simply changing everything. They changed their TOS on May 4th, and that is something that's egregious. And now, people who have been saying, oh well, they did it. People should have known, right? They should have known. They said this in the TOS. No, they really didn't. They said they were temporarily doing it, and it was available for sale in those countries where people could not buy it. Because obviously it was from the Steam, and it wasn't quite well done, and they changed it nefariously and silently with that type of stuff. Now, we have this here that says, frequently asked questions. Do I have to sign into PSN to play a PlayStation game on PC? Signing into PSN is optional when playing a PlayStation game on PC. And then, this was on May 3rd, 2024, and now on May 4th, 2024, do I have to sign into PSN to play a PlayStation game on PSC? Some PlayStation games may require you to sign in and link to an account for PSN. So they deliberately did this, right? They deliberately changed it. And, of course, people are talking about refunds. Oh, well, you should be able to refund your game. Guys, I have been using Steam for years now. Literal years. And what people don't seem to understand is, because they're mostly from console players, and console players are idiots, they think that you can just refund the game whenever. No, you have a time limit to play these games. And I even come up to some criticisms with Steam saying, like, games that are probably, what you would say, that take 2-3 plus hours, if not more, to actually, over 2 hours essentially, to actually learn the game. I think that time should be extended to a little bit more, only because you have to know what you're getting yourself into the game. Because some of these games you can't even understand to play, understand the game or how it operates above the 2 hour threshold. So, there's that. But if you guys are going to be idiots, it says, what can I request a refund for? Valve will, upon request via help.steampower.com, issue a refund for any title that is requested within 14 days of purchase and has been played for less than 2 hours. This includes online, offline, and shared library time. Even if you fall outside of the refund rules we've described, you can submit a request and we'll take a look at it. Where's my refund? My refund was approved, but it's been more than 7 days, etc., etc. So this doesn't really matter. But yes, you can only have up to 2 hours max of actual playtime, or less, and then it has to be within 14 days. If you do not meet the threshold, you won't get a request. You know how I know this? I've tried it before, guys. It doesn't work. Stop being stupid. So no, when people try to issue refunds, it's not going to work. I could show Grum's doing this, but it's a duh moment. Anybody that has Steam or try to refund a game knows the actual TOS and all this stuff with refunding games. So we knew this was going to happen. This is not a surprise to anyone. Now, another big issue here that we have with the whole Sony situation and Helldivers is that Sony has been hacked numerous times. When you get a PSN account from Sony, you have a very strong likelihood of getting your account, of having like a breach every year or every 2 years. This is not really a surprise for this. This is a Sony hack, a timeline, and it says day 1, Monday, December 2024, and all this stuff. And then day 2, Tuesday, November 25th, and then Wednesday, November 26th, Thursday, November 27th, into Friday, and all this stuff. So these are the things that, have been going on within, Sony. I'm not going to do this whole timeline thing because technically here, this is explaining everything in a very, in-depth way, and I'm not going to do that, right? I'm not going to show this in-depth way. Instead, I'm going to show you guys from an actual Steam timeline here, which is showing. I'm only doing this to show you guys that there is an actual legitimate timeline of Sony being hacked and all that stuff, And if we go back here to this data breach and stuff like that, you guys can look up this, and it's not hard. Sony hacked timeline and all this stuff. It's not really a surprise. This was how many times has Sony been hacked? I mean, come on, guys. I am very thorough with my work. I try to be, and this is just the reality. Like, Sony has this happen to them consistently. And the timeline of Sony data breaches, in early October 2023, Sony notified 6,791 current and former employees that their data had been compromised by a data breach earlier in the year. It says, on September 25th, 2023, the hacker group Ransomed VC claimed to have stolen 260 GB of proprietary data from Sony by the hacker's description of Sony systems. They posted 6,000 files as a sample of the stolen data, including a PowerPoint presentation and a source code files. That's a big deal. In August 2017, a group of named R Mind Gang accessed the Sony PlayStation social media accounts. It began posting claims that it accused the PlayStation Network database and collecting registration information, including surnames, names, and emails. In late 2014, 24-hour hacker, a group with ties to North Korea, calling themselves the Guardians of Peace, stole mountains of data from Sony's Pictures Network. Within the treasure trove of information were plans and scripts for unreleased films, personal data on employees and families, internal emails, salary information, and a ton of other information related to Sony properties and personnel. Hackers attacked several Sony Pictures associated websites in June 2011, compromising over 1 million user accounts by capturing usernames and passwords. In May 2011, Sony announced that personal details from 25 million Sony online entertainment customer accounts were stolen, along with names, data addresses, birth dates, and phone numbers. Hackers also gathered information about PC games customers purchased through the system. In April 2011, Sony's PlayStation Network was hacked, and personal information on 77 million account holders, essentially every user, was stolen. The incident also led to a several-week service outage, preventing users from being able to access the PlayStation Network. So that was what's going on here. And then we have this all detailed here from Firewall Times as well. It was October 2023, literally not that long ago, guys. Sony notifies employees of data breach. September 2023, Sony investigates alleged hack. August 2017, hacker group accesses Sony social media accounts. December 2014, PlayStation Network taken down by Christmas DDoS attack. November 2014, hackers steal 100 terabytes of data from Sony Pictures. And June 2011, Sony Pictures website hacked, exposing 1 million accounts. May 2011, personal details on 25 million Sony online entertainment customers stolen. April 2011, hackers accessed personal data of 77 million Sony PlayStation Network users. In July 2008, PlayStation site targeted with STQ injection attack, prompting visitors to download fake antivirus scanner. So, again, they are notorious for getting hacked. So, why would PC gamers want to willingly and go after this type of stuff, right? It's crazy to me. And people need to start understanding this, that, like, private information is very important. And this type of stuff is what we have to see here, and all that stuff as well. And I even brought up some of this as well with the PlayStation stuff as well, and all that crazy stuff. Now, what I want people to understand here too as well is that it's not just like the mere fact that some of this stuff is going on. It's also this too. Like, I did an actual report here. For the majority of games that you have purchased on disc or downloaded from PlayStation Store, you need a PlayStation Plus membership plan to play online. Most free-to-play games such as Fortnite, Xbox Legends, and Call of Duty Warzone do not require membership, yes, for as long as you remain an active subscriber. Now, I don't know, guys, whether or not you would have to pay for a PlayStation Plus to play online on Helldivers. I don't know if that would have been the case. That was obviously never tested, as far as I know, but that may be a possibility to what this is. This is an alleged thing. I don't know whether or not you would have to play, you would have to use a subscription in order to do this, right? That's just the way I think. However, again, this part is not proven. Where it comes down to the online PlayStation Plus store or whatever to play online, I guess I'm assuming from the console, you do need to have a PlayStation Plus to play online. But with Steam and then Helldivers 2, I am not entirely sure about that one. And of course, these are countries that are obviously, banned. 118 countries where is PlayStation Network PSN not available. So this is all the stuff that's going on here. And all that. So yeah, these are all the places that are not where PlayStation is not available. Of course, we have a plus to this, right? PlayStation has said, Helldivers fans, we have heard your feedback on the Helldivers 2 account linking update. The May 6 update, which would have required Steam and PlayStation Network account linking for new players and for current players beginning May 30th, will not be moving forward. We're still learning that is what is best for PC players, and your feedback has been invaluable. Thanks again for your continued support of Helldivers 2, and we'll keep you updated on future plans. So that's what's going on too. So they did go rectify it. They did go back on their word, and that's no longer a thing, right? So you can now not have to have a PSN to play Helldivers 2. It says the Helldivers community team is the worst I've seen in gaming. They are also extremely political, woke, and hate gamers. Let's take a look at the lead first, Vaccinator. I've written about Vaccinator before, and since then she both removed the flags in her bio, but has since replaced them as if we wouldn't notice. She is a DEI advocate and appears to hate men, gamers, and white people. Next up is Bix Khan. So again, this is talking about all the Helldivers community, right? These guys need to be fired. Community managers need to be fired. Let me give you a warning to all you CEOs, right? CEOs, for the love of God, what you guys need to do is just not hire people from Reddit, because Reddit is full of very far left, DEI people that are not good at all. They're terrible. They're horrible and all that stuff. And of course, what we see here is all these things in her bio, of course. And she's going on to say, I also don't like the terms casual and hardcore because they come with the implications that skill equals passion, which, yeah, that kind of does mean passion. I mean, look at some of the players here in esports and know where that passion's come from. And yes, they have a passion. You cannot tell me that Faker, one of the best players in League of Legends history, doesn't have passion for the game. You're a complete ludicrous if you think that's not the case. Those words are something gamers cling to, but they are being rendered meaningless as games become more accessible, inclusive, and experimental. I'm not talking about much because it's not my turn to talk. It's time for black people to be heard and white people to listen. I want to get to everything I can help, including passing the mic. I'm so tired of games focusing on parent-child errors, period, let alone male-centric ones. There are other relationships worth exploring in games, etc., etc. So you get the drift. She is a woke activist insanity. And then we have this, again, from the Community That Matters saying, community manager lead for Helldivers 2 is happy she can ban more people now. Look, as someone who has dealt with massive banning in the World of Warcraft versus Go farmers and cheats, I can tell you this. The reason it's bullshit, you do not need PSN to ban more effectively. She says that, well, we always knew this day would get here, and it's going about how I expected. I'm actually happy for us to be able to take action against player reports and make the game safer across the board, personally. And we have this here, again, saying Steam is now allowing refunds for Helldivers 2, no matter how much we time to play it. I've already gone over this. That is not true. So VGS saying is now, but VGC is saying Helldivers 2 is now unavailable for purchase in 150 regions, and Steam is reaching refunds for the game regardless of playtime. And no, you cannot do that. That's literally impossible. So that's not what's going on. That's not, they will not issue refunds. So that's what's going on. With that situation there, this by the way, this is now going back in the past. Helldivers moderator Purple Squidgen falsely proclaims that I have sexually assaulted many people. Falsely claims I sent people to attack their community managers and their families. Currently banning anyone who defends me or even likes a comment that defends me from this slander. This is not okay, and your community team is out of control. Also, I am not far right, I'm actually left of center, but these radicals have pushed all of the sanity into a bucket and kicked it off a cliff. This is Purple Squidgen. Of course, they have the he, they pronouns. Why wouldn't they, of course? You know, senior manager, senior moderator, and all that stuff, right? That's what we have. And then we have someone who sexually assaulted many people who worked with, lost his position as CEO. That was a far-right influencer who had people attack more than one of our CMs and their families. So yeah, he's obviously making an accusation here that is completely false. Anyone here is a Grumps fan, please out yourself so I can help you out the door. And is actively banning people that are associated with this guy. And Please do not, and then people are going out to defend, Grum's here. Please do not slander strangers in public. Not only is it unprofessional, it is wrong. Slander implies it was a lie, and, all that great stuff. So these are going to be the managers. And then we have more here from all this stuff, stuff like that. And all that. And we have here, one last time, with these people. This is with Misty and Spitz. Helldivers community manager Missy Overwatch has deleted her account. Every CM for Helldivers seems to have gone protected. Community managers should not run high when their game is in crisis management. It is extremely unprofessional. They are ditching their jobs. The real reason they delete is because if you are able to dig into their tweets, you'll find they are anti-gamer and worse, more news to follow. So yeah, we have this here. This is the person, she, her, of course, and has a trans flag in her bio, of course, because, these are how all these people operate, and they're insane. And then, of course, they delete their account, and we have this. Spitz says, this is from Spitz here. Internal discussions are ongoing about the mandatory linking change, and while I can't reveal details, the response from our dev teams has been pretty universally negative, and we're looking for better options. If a better solution isn't provided for players who are in regions without PSN coverage, I'm sure that we won't be making the requirement mandatory for those players. We're not going to force people to either break Sony TOS or not play the game. That change, the Steam announcement, and the fact are all coming from Sony and not our team at HQ, etc., etc. Players making their displeasure known through refunds, etc., all this stuff. So that's what's going on. Now, finally, I'm going to get to the last person here, the CEO of it all. This is the last bit of it. And he goes on to say that this here. In this moment, to tweet what? What, you guys don't have phones, and stuff like that. He goes on to say here, I do have a part to play. I am not blameless in all of this. It was my decision to disable account linking at launch so that players could play the game. I did not ensure players were aware of the requirement, and we didn't talk about it enough. We knew about it for 6 months before launch that it would be mandatory for online PS titles. So he knew beforehand this was a big deal and all that, and he let it go anyways. Okay, and then we have this here from Jim Baptiste. Even worse, the CEO admitted today he knew for a long time about this and still was happy to take money from players who would not be able to play the game after a short while. I do pray his honesty is not less of a scam and a fraud. Yeah, this is what... At the beginning of this, it was all a scam, it was all fraud and a big issue. And I was gonna... before it... that's all this information come out, I was gonna put it as fraud, but I'm not putting that down now because it's no longer... It was a scam, it was a fraud, because it may, but they switched everything, so it should be fine there. Reposted because of error, that's not what I said. I said we were asked to make mandatory account linking 6 months before launch, i.e. as the game was finishing up. And on launch day, it was mandatory as detailed in the description on the Steam page, and it was disabled a couple of hours after launch due to server issues, which was my decision. Otherwise, the game would have been unplayable for everyone. We notified the community that we were suspending it temporarily, but we're not going to reinstate it in the future. But yeah, working our asses off for 8 years, pouring blood, sweat, and tears, and worrying about it if players were like our lives work is a good basis for a scam. Sorry for the rant, this is a lot. Of course, he goes on to say, we do not handle the selling of the game, we develop and support it. When it comes to the details of how it's sold, up to publishers and stores, PSN restrictions are a PSN issue. I wouldn't know why you can't make an account in different parts of the world. I appreciate your response. I understand to why you accepted money from customers and countries you knew would not be able to play your game a few months down the line. And of course, he said what I said before. So, again, this guy has some questions to be answered here and all that. But at the end of the day, he knew what was going on 6 months prior, and saying that it was going to be required and all that stuff for it. And that's insane, right? He knew. But again, he didn't know about, the PSN issue and all that with players that be able to play it. And to be honest, I didn't either. I didn't know that PSN had certain countries banned, right? Where they couldn't have a PSN account or PlayStation or what have you. I did not know this either. So I would assume it would probably be somebody's in best interest to probably look that up for what company they're doing. But hindsight is 2020. And yeah, they're right. He doesn't really sell the game or whatever, or he's not the publisher. But again, this is the whole story, the whole shtick of what's going on. I am so sorry, guys. This video is 24 minutes, but I want you guys to understand that, like, for me to find all this information took a while, and then to try to break it down for you guys, everything that's going on, it's just a lot. Because a lot of this information was coming down within, like, a whole week. And I'm trying to consolidate a whole week of information into a single video, and it's difficult. And I want you guys to understand that, like, I want everybody to see the whole story as at hand. So this will probably be the last video I'll be making, a 25-minute video for a while now. So probably don't worry about that. But this is all what's going on with Helldivers 2. It's crazy that all this stuff that happened. But at the end of the day, gamers won, taking that great big dub. And forever, and as always, guys, like, subscribe, share. As always, take care.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. Cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.